Hello, everyone. Welcome to Voice of English. This is the place where you can learn English by listening and practicing every day. Each day, we share simple lessons and helpful tips to help you speak English better and with confidence. So get ready to listen, learn, and speak English naturally.
If you've ever felt that frustrating gap between understanding written English and comprehending fast-paced spoken conversations, then you are in the perfect place. Today, we're tackling one of the most crucial, yet often challenging aspects of language acquisition: mastering your English listening skills. Many learners find listening to be the biggest hurdle on their journey to fluency. It's easy to feel overwhelmed when native speakers talk quickly, when accents are unfamiliar, or when idioms and slang fly by. You might understand individual words but struggle to grasp the overall meaning. Or perhaps you can follow a conversation but find it incredibly tiring to do so, leaving you feeling mentally exhausted after just a few minutes. This episode is designed to empower you with concrete strategies and actionable tips to transform your listening abilities, making you not just a hearer of words, but a true comprehender of meaning, enabling you to participate confidently and comfortably in any English conversation. Think of listening as the bedrock, the very foundation of all other communication skills. You need to understand before you can respond effectively, before you can participate naturally in discussions, or even before you can truly form your own coherent thoughts in English. Without strong listening skills, your speaking, reading, and writing will always be limited, like trying to build a tall building on a shaky base. So, let's stop merely hearing sounds pass by and start truly listening, engaging with the language on a deeper level. Get ready to open your ears, sharpen your focus, and significantly boost your confidence in spoken English. It's time to transform your passive reception into active comprehension. Let's dive in. Understanding the listening challenge. Before we get to the practical solutions and transformative techniques, it's incredibly helpful to acknowledge why listening can feel so difficult. It's not just you. This is a universal challenge faced by nearly all language learners, regardless of their native tongue or their current English level. Understanding these common obstacles is the first step toward overcoming them. One major factor is speed. Native speakers often talk at a very fast pace, sometimes blurring words together in what might feel like a continuous stream of sound. This natural, rapid cadence can feel like a torrent of information, making it incredibly hard to identify individual words, much less their intended meaning or the subtle nuances conveyed. When you read, you control the pace. When you listen, especially in real time, the speaker controls it. This can be jarring and overwhelming. Then there are accents and pronunciation. English is a global language, spoken with countless accents around the world. Even within what we call American English, there are dozens of regional variations, from the distinct sounds of the South to the rapid-fire speech of the Northeast, or the more neutral tones often heard in the Midwest. Each accent comes with its own unique pronunciation of vowels and consonants, its own rhythm, and its own patterns of stress. This means that familiar words, or words you know perfectly well in written form, can sound completely different, making them unrecognizable to your ear. It's like trying to identify a melody played on a completely different instrument than you're used to. Another significant challenge is connected speech. This is a powerful yet often overlooked phenomenon in spoken English. Native speakers typically don't pronounce every word in isolation, with distinct pauses between them. Instead, words link together, sounds change, blend, or even disappear, creating a natural rhythm and flow. For example, going to frequently transforms into gonna, want to becomes wanna, and did you often sounds like did ya. A phrase like what do you do can sound like what do you do. If you're listening for each word as a separate entity, you'll inevitably get lost. Understanding these phonological changes, which occur naturally in fast conversational speech, is absolutely vital for true comprehension. Of course, vocabulary and idioms also play a substantial role. Even if your foundational vocabulary is strong, if someone uses an idiom like kick the bucket, meaning to die, or a piece of trendy slang like dope, meaning cool or excellent, the literal meaning of the individual words won't help you understand the phrase. These expressions are cultural shortcuts, and if you haven't encountered them before, they can cause a complete breakdown in understanding, leaving you feeling bewildered. Our previous Speak Like a Local episodes are precisely designed to address this challenge head on. Background noise and distractions add another layer of complexity. Real world conversations rarely happen in a perfectly quiet, controlled environment. Whether it's the hum of a coffee shop, traffic noise, or even other people talking, these distractions make focused listening even harder, forcing your brain to work overtime to filter out irrelevant sounds and concentrate on the main voice. Finally, a crucial yet simple obstacle is limited exposure. If your only interaction with spoken English occurs during formal lessons, or through a small handful of selected audio tracks, you're missing out on the vast amount of authentic, natural speech that occurs daily. Your ear simply hasn't had enough practice adapting to the full range of speaking styles, contexts, and speeds that real life presents. The incredibly good news, however, is that every single one of these challenges can be overcome. They're not insurmountable barriers, but rather opportunities for growth. With consistent, targeted practice and the application of the right strategies, you can absolutely transform your listening abilities and achieve a level of comprehension that feels natural and effortless. It's a journey, but one that is entirely achievable. Core principles of active listening. Improving your listening isn't just about passively letting sounds wash over you, hoping that understanding will magically appear. It requires active engagement, a conscious effort to participate in the communication process, even if you're not speaking. Here are some fundamental principles of active listening that will profoundly transform your approach and accelerate your comprehension. First and foremost, focus on the gist, not every word. This is perhaps the most liberating principle for language learners. When you listen, especially in real-time conversation, don't try to understand every single word. Native speakers themselves often miss words, especially in informal or noisy settings or when they're multitasking. Your brain, both in your native language and in English, is incredibly wired to fill in gaps based on context and patterns. Instead, your primary goal should be to grasp the main idea, the overall message, and the speaker's core intention. If you understand 70 to 80% of what's being said, you're doing incredibly well and can likely follow the conversation effectively. Obsessing over every single word creates immense anxiety, slows down your processing, and ultimately prevents you from truly comprehending the overall flow and meaning of the conversation. Let go of the need for perfection and embrace the power of approximate understanding. Secondly, you must leverage context clues. Context is your absolute best friend in listening comprehension. It's the invisible web of information that surrounds the words, giving them meaning. This includes the words immediately before and after an unfamiliar word or phrase, the broader situation you're in, the general topic of the conversation, and even the speaker's emotional state. Imagine someone says, "I'm feeling a bit under the weather," and you see them looking pale, perhaps coughing or rubbing their temples. The nonverbal and situational context immediately tells you they're unwell, even if you weren't familiar with that specific idiom. Develop your ability to infer meaning from all available surrounding information: linguistic, situational, and even cultural. This skill will allow you to bridge gaps in your vocabulary and understand phrases you've never heard before. Next, it's crucial to observe nonverbal cues. Communication is a multifaceted process, far more expansive than just spoken words. Body language, facial expressions, hand gestures, and subtle shifts in tone of voice convey a wealth of information that directly impacts meaning. If someone says, "I'm so frustrated," and they cross their arms tightly, their brow is furrowed, and their voice has a strained quality, these nonverbal cues powerfully reinforce their frustration, significantly aiding your comprehension. These visual and auditory signals are not just supplementary, they are integral to understanding the full, authentic message. Training yourself to consciously observe these cues will provide a massive boost to your listening ability, as they often clarify ambiguity or emphasize meaning. Finally, cultivate the habit of predict and anticipate. As you listen, actively try to predict what the speaker might say next. Based on the topic, the flow of the conversation, and the logical progression of ideas, anticipate possible words, phrases, or outcomes. For example, if someone is talking about a problem and then says, "So the solution is," logically you can anticipate a problem-solving statement. This active mental engagement helps you stay ahead of the speaker, making comprehension much easier when you actually hear the predicted words. This isn't about guessing randomly, it's about using the context and your general knowledge to narrow down possibilities, making your brain more efficient at processing incoming information. By combining these core principles, you're not just a passive receiver of sound. You become an active participant in the communication process, which is the key to true listening mastery. Practical strategies for targeted listening improvement. Now that we've established the foundational principles of active listening, let's delve into concrete, actionable techniques you can implement today to dramatically improve your English listening skills. These strategies move beyond theory and offer practical pathways to significant progress. Immerse yourself. Actively and passively consistent exposure to English is absolutely non-negotiable. It's the most fundamental ingredient for improving your listening. The more English your brain hears, the more familiar it becomes with its intricate rhythms, unique sounds, common linking patterns, and natural intonation. Think of it like a musical instrument. The more you expose your ear to melodies and harmonies, the better you become at distinguishing individual notes and understanding the overall composition. Passive immersion, background noise. This involves having English playing in the background while you go about your daily activities. It's about creating an English sound environment around you, even when you're not consciously focusing on every word. For instance, play English podcasts, news channels, radio shows, or even English music while you're cooking, cleaning, exercising, or commuting. You won't consciously understand everything, and that's perfectly fine. The goal here is for your brain to slowly, subconsciously start to pick up on the intonation patterns, the natural stress of words and sentences, and the typical speed of the language. This osmosis effect is incredibly powerful over time, building familiarity and comfort with the language without requiring intense conscious effort. It helps normalize the sounds of English for your brain, making them less alien and more approachable when you later engage in active listening. Active immersion, focused listening. This is where deliberate effort and concentration come into play. Dedicate specific, uninterrupted time each day to focused listening practice. Sit down with the explicit intention of understanding, analyzing, and learning. This could involve watching a short video, listening to a segment of a podcast, engage in with an audio lesson specifically designed for learners, or even following an audiobook. The key here is concentration and active processing. During active immersion, your brain is fully engaged in trying to extract meaning, identify new vocabulary, and recognize pronunciation patterns. It's like a focused workout for your listening muscles, pushing them to improve. Balance between passive and active immersion is crucial. Passive exposure builds familiarity, while active engagement builds comprehension. Choose your material wisely. The power of purposeful selection. Not all listening materials are created equal for language learners. Strategic selection of what you listen to can make a profound difference in your progress, preventing frustration and maximizing your learning potential. Start with comprehensible input. This is a golden rule in language acquisition, popularized by linguist Stephen Krashen. It states that you improve when you understand the general meaning of what you're hearing, even if you don't understand every single word. Therefore, choose materials that are slightly above your current level, not overwhelmingly difficult. If you understand too little, less than 60 to 70%, you'll quickly get frustrated, lose motivation, and ultimately give up. If you understand too much, you won't be exposed to new vocabulary, structures, or challenges, meaning you won't learn anything new. Aim for content where you can grasp about 70 to 80% of the meaning without constant struggle. Websites specifically designed for English learners like VOA Learning English, which uses a slower speed and simpler vocabulary for news stories, or BBC Learning English, offering various authentic materials with support, are excellent starting points. Many YouTube channels also cater to specific levels from beginner to advanced. Diverse content is key. Don't limit yourself to just one type of listening material. Variety keeps things interesting and exposes you to different vocabulary, speaking styles, and accents relevant to various situations. Podcasts. These are excellent for focused listening, offering a vast range of topics from news and storytelling to specific hobbies and academic subjects. Many podcasts provide transcripts, which are invaluable for checking comprehension and learning new vocabulary. They're highly portable, making them perfect for commutes or walks. TV shows and movies. These provide a rich source of natural dialogue, complete with body language, facial expressions, and cultural context. Start with genres you genuinely enjoy and are already somewhat familiar with. Beginning with animated shows or comedies often works well, as the language can be simpler and the visual cues provide strong context. News channels. Watching English news, e.g., CNN, BBC, Fox News, is great for formal, clear pronunciation and keeping up with current events. News anchors often speak clearly, though rapidly, offering a good challenge. Look for specialized learner news broadcasts initially. Audiobooks. These can be more challenging due to the lack of visual cues, but they're excellent for extended listening practice and significantly expanding your vocabulary and understanding of complex sentence structures. Many classic audiobooks are available for free, or you can explore graded readers that come with audio. YouTube channels. Beyond dedicated English learning channels, explore content creators who speak clearly and passionately about topics that genuinely interest you. Whether it's cooking, gaming, technology reviews, or educational explainers, engaging with topics you care about will make listening far more enjoyable and effective. Embrace different accents. While you might initially want to focus on mastering American English, gradually expose yourself to various English accents from around the world. This trains your ear to be incredibly flexible and adaptable, preparing you for real-world interactions with speakers from diverse backgrounds. Start with slightly different American regional accents, then move to British, Australian, Canadian, Irish, or non-native English accents. Many online resources and apps specifically offer accent training or materials presented in various accents. The more diverse your listening diet, the more resilient your listening skills become. Implement targeted practice techniques. Active engagement for accelerated growth. Passive listening sets the stage, but active targeted techniques are what truly build and refine your listening skills. These methods force your brain to actively process and analyze the sounds of English. Transcribing. Listen and write. This is a powerful, albeit challenging, technique for improving your ability to distinguish individual words and sounds. Choose a short audio clip, perhaps 30 seconds to a minute long. Listen repeatedly, pausing as often as you need to, and try to write down every single word you hear. Don't worry about spelling initially. Focus on capturing the sounds. After you've done your absolute best, compare your transcription against an official transcript if one is available. This exercise forces your brain to pay meticulous attention to phonetics, connected speech, and word boundaries, significantly improving your phonetic recognition and spelling. It's like doing a precise dissection of spoken English. Shadowing. Listen and repeat simultaneously. This technique involves listening to a native speaker and trying to repeat exactly what they say simultaneously, mimicking their pronunciation, intonation, rhythm, and speed as closely as possible. Don't worry about understanding every single word during shadowing. The primary focus is on producing the sounds and mimicking the musicality of the language. This trains your mouth and ear to work together in harmony, improving both your listening comprehension, as your brain becomes familiar with producing the sounds, and your speaking fluency and pronunciation. It's an excellent way to internalize the natural flow of English. Note-taking. Gist focus for longer audio. For longer audio content like lectures, presentations, or extended conversations, practice taking notes only on the main ideas, key details, and significant points, rather than trying to transcribe every word. This reinforces the gist principle we discussed earlier and helps you develop the crucial skill of summarizing what you hear, which is invaluable in academic settings, meetings, and any real-life conversation where you need to follow a complex argument. You can experiment with different note-taking styles such as bullet points, mind maps, or Cornell notes to find what works best for you. Repetition is your friend. Multipass listening. Don't fall into the trap of listening to something only once. The real magic of improvement happens through repeated exposure to the same audio. First, listen. Focus solely on overall understanding, trying to grasp the main idea and general context. Don't pause. Second, listen. Go back and listen again, this time trying to identify specific unfamiliar words or phrases. Pause if needed to note them down. Third, listen. Concentrate on connected speech, pronunciation, and intonation patterns. How are words linked? Which sounds are reduced? Where does the speaker place emphasis? Fourth, listen. Use this pass for active practice. Try shadowing along or mentally repeating sentences after the speaker, internalizing the flow. This multi-pass approach allows you to extract different layers of information from the same audio, maximizing learning from a single resource. Use subtitles wisely. Subtitles can be a powerful tool, but they need to be used strategically to avoid over-reliance that hinders your listening development. English subtitles. On initially. When you're struggling with a particular audio or video, English subtitles can be a lifeline. They help you connect the sounds you hear to the written words, reinforcing recognition. Transition to no subtitles. Once you're comfortable with the content and feel you grasp most of it, try listening without subtitles. If you get lost, rewind a short segment and turn them on briefly, then turn them off again. The ultimate goal is to train your ear to operate independently without visual support. Crucially, avoid foreign language subtitles unless your specific goal is translation comparison, as they prevent your brain from engaging directly with the English sounds. Listen for keywords and stress. In English, certain words in a sentence carry more stress and convey the main information. These are typically nouns, main verbs, adjectives, and adverbs, content words. Function words, like prepositions, articles, conjunctions, are often reduced or unstressed. Learning to identify these stressed keywords helps you quickly grasp the core meaning of a sentence, even if you miss some of the less important words. Practice by listening for the words that sound louder, clearer, or slightly longer. Practice with real-life scenarios. Simulate real conversations. If you have a language partner, engage in role-playing various situations, e.g., ordering food, asking for directions, discussing daily events. This helps you practice listening to spontaneous, unrehearsed speech and responding in kind. If a language partner isn't available, try listening to short dialogues and then mentally rehearsing your responses before checking against a model. Listen for discourse markers and connectors. Pay attention to words and phrases that signal the relationship between ideas or shifts in thought. Words like however, therefore, so, but, in addition, for example, on the other hand, provide a roadmap for the speaker's ideas. Understanding these signposts helps you follow the logical flow of an argument or narrative, even if some specific vocabulary is unfamiliar. Segment listening. For longer or particularly challenging audio, break it down into smaller, manageable chunks. Instead of trying to listen to a 30-minute podcast all at once, listen to 5-minute segments, repeat them, practice with them, and then move on. This prevents mental fatigue and allows for more focused, effective learning within each segment. Navigating difficulties and mindset. Even with the most robust strategies, you'll inevitably encounter moments of confusion, frustration, and perhaps even despair. This is a natural part of the learning process. Your mindset, however, is absolutely crucial in navigating these difficulties and maintaining your motivation. Don't panic about missed words. This can't be emphasized enough. It's entirely natural and expected to miss words, especially when you're first starting to train your ear to new accents or faster speeds. Instead of getting discouraged, acknowledge it and then immediately refocus on the next part of the conversation. Remember, your overarching goal is to understand the main idea, the sentiment, and the overall trajectory of the communication, not to catch every single word with 100% accuracy. Perfection is an illusion. Effective communication is the reality. Embrace mistakes as learning opportunities. Reframe your perception of errors. Every time you mishear something, misunderstand an idiom, or have to ask for clarification, it's not a failure. It is, in fact, a valuable learning opportunity, a moment of feedback from the language itself. Don't view it as something negative, but rather as data. Make a mental or written note of what you missed. Actively seek out its correct meaning, pronunciation, and appropriate usage. Analyze why you missed it. Was it speed? An unfamiliar word? Connected speech? This analytical approach turns every difficulty into a stepping stone for growth. Politely ask for clarification. In real conversations, both with native speakers and other English learners, it's perfectly acceptable, common, and even encouraged to ask for clarification. Native speakers generally appreciate your effort to understand and are happy to help. They'd much rather you ask than pretend to understand and then respond inappropriately. Learn and practice a few polite phrases for this purpose. Could you please repeat that? Could you say that a bit slower? What do you mean by unfamiliar phrase? Sorry, I didn't quite catch that. Could you explain it differently? Could you rephrase that, please? Just to clarify, are you saying using these phrases shows engagement and respect, not a lack of ability? Practice self-compassion. Learning a new language is a complex and sometimes arduous journey. There will be days when you feel amazing progress and days when it feels like you're going backward. Be kind to yourself during these moments. Acknowledge that you're engaged in a challenging and rewarding endeavor. Give yourself permission to make mistakes, to feel frustrated occasionally, and to take breaks when you need them. Burnout is a real risk. Remind yourself of how far you've come and celebrate the effort you're putting in. Consistency is the ultimate key. The most powerful factor in long-term improvement, especially for listening, is consistency. It's not about how many hours you cram into one day, but how regularly you engage with the language over weeks, months, and years. Short daily listening sessions are far more effective than sporadic, exhausting marathon sessions. Make listening an integrated part of your daily routine, even if it's just 15 to 20 minutes. Regular, gentle exposure builds momentum and solidifies learning in a way that intense, infrequent bursts cannot. Setting goals and tracking progress. Like any skill you wish to master, listening improvement requires consistent effort, a clear roadmap, and a way to measure your growth. Without setting goals and tracking progress, it's easy to feel lost or to underestimate just how much you're truly improving. Consistency over intensity. This principle bears repeating because of its fundamental importance. Short daily listening sessions, even just 15 to 20 minutes a day, are exponentially more effective and sustainable than trying to do one long, exhausting 3-hour session once a week. Daily exposure builds momentum, reinforces neural pathways, and allows your brain to gradually adapt to the nuances of English. Make listening an integral part of your daily habit, something you look forward to rather than a dreaded chore. Set realistic and specific goals. Avoid vague goals like, I want to understand everything. While admirable, it's not measurable and can lead to frustration. Instead, create SMART goals: specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound. Example 1. This week, I'll listen to one 10-minute podcast episode without subtitles, and I'll be able to write down the main idea and 3 key details. Example 2. By the end of the month, I want to be able to follow a 3-minute news segment from VOA Learning English with 80% comprehension without stopping. Example 3. Tomorrow, during my commute, I'll focus on identifying 5 examples of connected speech in the podcast I'm listening to. These specific, achievable goals provide direction and allow you to clearly see your progress. Track your progress. Keep a simple listening journal or use a digital tracking app. Note down the materials you're using, how long you listened, your perceived comprehension level, e.g., 60%, 75%, any new words or phrases you learned, and any specific challenges you encountered. Over time, reviewing this journal will provide concrete evidence of your improvement, showing you how much easier listening has become, how many new words you've acquired, and how your confidence has grown. This visual representation of your progress is incredibly motivating. Celebrate small wins. Language learning is a marathon, not a sprint. Therefore, it's vital to celebrate every single step of progress, no matter how small it may seem. Every time you understand a challenging phrase, grasp a new accent, follow a conversation for longer than before, or successfully use a new idiom you've heard, acknowledge it and celebrate it. These small victories build momentum, boost your confidence, and provide the intrinsic motivation to keep going. Reward yourself with something you enjoy, perhaps a favorite treat, a moment of relaxation, or sharing your success with a friend. You've taken a significant step today by understanding the mechanics of effective listening and acquiring powerful strategies to improve. Mastering English listening skills is a continuous journey, but it's one that will unlock countless opportunities for deeper connection, richer understanding, and true fluency. Remember, every sound you hear, every word you process, is a step closer to speaking English like a local. Keep practicing these techniques, listen actively, and embrace the challenge. The more you listen, the more natural and effortless English will become for you. Your dedication will undoubtedly lead to profound improvements in your overall communication. If this episode brought you substantial value, and I sincerely hope it did, please remember to give us a thumbs up right now. Your support is invaluable. It truly helps our channel grow and reach even more dedicated learners like you around the globe. And now I want to hear from you. What topic are you most excited to explore in our next episode? What's challenging you in your English learning journey? Or what's something you're really curious about? Drop your ideas in the comments below. We're building this community together, and your input helps us create the most valuable content for you. And if you haven't already, please absolutely subscribe to our channel, English in Moments. Hitting that bell icon will ensure you never miss a new episode. as we're here consistently, daily, to help you on your English learning journey, providing valuable insights, practical tips, and encouraging guidance. You can also find a treasure trove of additional resources and past episodes right here on our channel to continue your progress and explore other fascinating aspects of English. Keep practicing, keep immersing yourself, and keep embracing the incredible, rewarding journey of mastering English. I look forward to connecting with you in the next episode. Happy learning, everyone!